Get in frame. Click the links to support my vitally important work, or check out Bitchute, where I put videos not appropriate for YouTube hate speech. There is this guy, and I won't name him. He's a comic artist. He sells a digital comic strip, and he probably does other stuff too. But this guy is somebody you have known your whole life. A negative Nancy. I mention this next part not to laugh at him, because it's relevant and probative to the issue at hand. The dude is morbidly obese, and to be that fat colors your outlook on life. Simply put, it is miserable being him. He is eating himself to death. Now, for whatever reason, he hates Comicsgate and EVS. He's part of that active contingent on Twitter who is anti-CG, but also keeps tabs on it, like Renfamous and Gail Simone. Renfamous is doing it for her gamma orbiters who are waiting for a chance to sniff her panties. If you guys are any of those Renfamous fans, that's got to be the most pathetic collection of guys. Go scroll through her fan base and look at her. When they show the faces, they look like what you'd expect them to look like. Honestly, they look like people who pay for sex, even the women. But Gail Simone is probably just bored. I don't think she's working on anything right now. She did 5 YouTube shows over several months, and she just gave up. But she left the videos up as a sad reminder. SJWs think YouTube is easy, and I think they think promotion is easy, and it actually takes work. But I was thinking that they're kind of the people who, like, they got okay grades in high school, or they got good grades in high school, like, without even trying, man. Okay, so if you had tried, you probably would have got, like, a scholarship. Is that what you're saying? Yeah, I guess that's what you're saying. So she stays on Twitter and she whines about EVS, and I have to assume that they were lovers when they were working together. Hot, sweaty, passionate animal love in the office while Mark Waid watched and jerked off. That's the only reason for this level of anger now. Why wouldn't the SJWs be happy for independent comic creators? So, you know, it's like, SJWs, aren't you guys for the small man? For the blue collar? They seem to have flipped the parties somewhere in the 90s. So you've got these anti-Comicsgate SJW people who hate Comicsgate so much that they follow the Twitters and they listen to EVS and they clip parts of the videos. I haven't heard if they're watching any other channels, so I think the rest of us are safe. They seem to hate EVS the most, then your boy Zach. But Zach doesn't say anything too spicy these days. He has settled down in his old age. He's at the stage of sitting by the fire, reading Moby Dick, and smoking a pipe. He's playing it safe. He's probably tired of fighting with soy people, and I guess I don't blame him. The soy people spend hours of their life watching something and someone that they hate just so they can clip a video. It is a bizarre level of obsession. Most normal people avoid stuff they don't like, but soy people are different. They don't want anyone enjoying something that they don't approve of. SJWs are very controlling. That's why male feminists are so dangerous. They're very rapey. So this big guy, and I'm being charitable there, is keeping tabs on Comicsgate instead of being focused on making great art that people enjoy. I read his stuff. It's online. It's okay, I guess. But he is in the far left, so his comic strip can't actually be funny. It has to be a woke black guy, a woman, and whenever there's a white character, the black character will always be smarter, because if he violated those rules, he would get canceled. I assume comics are a part-time job for him, but he spends time thinking about Comicsgate and tweeting against it when he should be spending that time practicing his art. He and Renfamous are tweeting about how Comicsgate projects don't make as much as they seem because of the differences between gross and net. Well, no shit. That's the nature of all business. Did they think they had discovered some hidden secret? What makes it even funnier is the big guy has 2 unfulfilled Kickstarters. How do you whine about somebody else's project when you flaked on 2 and presumably kept the money? I'm not trying to accuse him of anything here. And that's the weird thing about SJWs. They do Kickstarters. They might raise 30 grand. They never fulfill. They keep the money and nobody says anything. It's just a common way for them they need money, they raise a Kickstarter. It's like, oh, hey, made $30K this year, so you're going to fulfill it? Oh, what's that? Exactly. B. Clay Moore is 5 years late on Big Hawaiian Dick. Judging by his face, he looks like he spent it on alcohol. He is looking very rough. I don't want to get sued for defamation here, but he is what I would look like if I went on a drinking binge for months straight. Just fat, bloated, and gross. I don't know if you went on a drinking binge or not. Probably not. Maybe he's just naturally ugly. Some people are just not gifted like the rest of us good-looking people. So these people, they feel so comfortable throwing stones from glass houses. Ren did a comic, Deadbeats, I think, but she fulfilled it. But she grossed $1,000. There were like 50 creators, and they grossed $50,000 or something. So SGW is crowdfund, but the sales aren't great because people know it's going to be just the standard little brown kids running around fighting the evil blonde man. For some reason, that storyline isn't a big seller. They can't even sell to their own audience. So there is a lot of bitterness in the SJW comic circles. They want to crowdfund, but they know that their audience won't support them. Joe Glass's biggest project is £20,000, but that's probably the same in dollars. But the whole LGBT thing is really popular right now. The Pride should be a massive success. But SGWs don't have massive successes. And what money they do make, they are careful to explain where the money is going. They always post a pie chart showing the breakdown. Why? Who cares? Your money is none of our business. I have heard Twitter kids, I have to assume and hope that they are just dumb kids, whining that comic crowdfunds are not supposed to make enough money to buy you a house. You're supposed to just make enough to fund the next project. Well, says who? Where are you supposed to live while you draw the comics? If you make a lot of money in comics, then you can focus on your art and not worry about money. Why wouldn't you sell as many copies of your comic as possible? Give the people what they want. Because at the core of the SGW is the socialist. They believe your money is their money. But the problem is they don't have talent, or when they do, they don't have drive. It takes a lot of work to get good at making comics and then getting good at promoting comics. Compare the Comicsgate guys. They work hard at their art and building a social media platform so they can market it. Then they network together to cross-promote. It's a pretty simple business model. The SGWs, they work hard on their art, but instead of working on the promotion, they whine about Trump and call customers toxic. No customer is toxic. That is the thinking of crazy people. Half of your potential customers are on the right. If you insult conservatives, Christians, and men, you're going to lose your customers. But that is exactly what they do. Then they wonder why they're not selling. Gee, why aren't the Nazis buying my comic? So this big angry guy tweets about Comicsgate, but then says that he has to block Comicsgate because he can't deal with the negativity. Then why concern yourself with them in the first place? Counting other people's money is sad. If I was the fat man, I would go on EVS's show and sell the hell out of my comic. Go on, laugh, and have a good time. Yeah, you guys like Trump, we hate Trump, but politicians come and go. There's no need to fight over something we can't control. Friendships are more important than virtue signaling. Right, Mike and EVS? I should say that to mature adults, friendships are more important, but to 50-year-old babies, I guess not. Now, I mentioned that SGWs are fat and ugly. Good-looking people don't become SJWs. It's always fat, greasy whiners, the liar worm tongues, the backstabbers, the negative Nancys. I'm sure if you did a study, you would find that they are shorter and fatter than the average, and they would self-report as not being as happy. There's nothing to be happy about in Trump's America, except that they weren't happy in Obama's America either. If you are a sandy vagina, wherever you go, you take yourself with you. They don't seem to realize that Twitter is public and that they are in sales. I saw someone complain that Cyberfrog only sold so well because people bought 4 copies to sell on eBay. Yes, and How is that a bad thing? A customer is making EVS money and making themselves a little profit. Everyone is getting what they want. They're not buying 4 copies to put on their bookshelf. Other people are buying them at a later date. Maybe they weren't aware of the project in time to buy it. Maybe they didn't have the funds necessary. Maybe they just weren't in the mood. You're doing people a favor while making a product. You're spreading that product out to other people. How would you complain about that? And if you want to know how to rid the world of SJWs, put them on a diet. They are fat and gross and miserable. If they simply ate less, they would drop some fat and feel better. Anyway, like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you guys all next episode.